Well, hello, all my wonderful friends, and welcome to all of you that are new. My name is Erica, and I'm a homeschooling, homemaking mama of 5. I don't know if I can really say I'm not much of a homemaker anymore since I'm going to be actually working. Not next week? No, it'd be next week. Yeah. Anyway, so welcome to my channel. We are cleaning up my house. This happened over at a period about 2 days. So my house in some areas got really, really, really bad, and I was sick last week. I don't know if I was sick, or if just my job caught up with me. For those of you that don't know, I work overnights, about 2 nights a week, and it has really just thrown me off in general. So I'm kind of always a little tired, and just because I'm always tired in general. So that didn't help. But then I hurt my back or my sciatic nerve. I don't know what you call it. And it was really bothering me to the point I was like kind of limping. But then on top of that, I started getting some real bad congestion and sinus issues. So we're thinking I may have ended up having like the flu or something, because there was at one point, actually in this video, when I finished, I started running a real bad high fever. Now I'm doing fine. When you guys are seeing this, hopefully everything has been completely cleared up, because this was a Saturday that I did the voiceover, and I had a doctor's appointment Monday. So, hopefully everything was all right. It's just a checkup and stuff, but of course, I'm going to mention all the stuff that goes along. So, like I said, I was sick. My husband and children are excellent to take up, to help when I'm feeling down or I need something feeling down. Y'all know what I mean? Like I'm tired or not feeling well. But, there's some things that, I got to be honest, that they don't really necessarily think about. My son was super, super sweet and made a pot of coffee for me, but I've got one of those permanent filters that you have to rinse out and stuff, and he rinsed out some of the coffee grounds. That was not a horrible accent. I really just mixed up the two words, grains and grounds. He dumped them into the sink, some of them, not all of them, and just didn't think to clear it out. And yes, I know kids have to learn because you got to teach them and stuff, but at that point, I was just grateful for somebody making me coffee, so I just cleaned it out. I guess my daughter had got a tea bag string caught up in my little frother. I've got one of those Ninja coffee pots, and it's got a frother piece on it, and that's what I was just picking off there. So I don't normally shine my sink, and I'm not going to in this case. And I do clean my sink regularly, but bleach is not something that I use all the time. I do use it, and recently, especially during cold and flu, I use it a lot more. Or in this case, which was both, if the dishes or the sink's gotten particularly grody, and I like to put it, to clean up the coffee stains in the bottom in the drain. So y'all will see me after I clean it out with Dawn dish liquid soap or whatever, y'all know what I mean. The power wash stuff. Then I go over it. I fill up my little head thing and go over it with Clorox bleach. I'm sure y'all can hear the chainsaw that was going on in the background. My husband was sawing some tree limbs down. We're getting a new roof put on. Oh my goodness. So I know I mentioned it a couple videos back. We had a real bad snowstorm. Well, not snowstorm, but like sleet and ice and all that. And it got super cold. And all of a sudden in our closet, the roof just started leaking real bad. Or the ceiling started leaking, and then so we had somebody come out and check on it, and sure enough, we need a new roof. So we're having one of those put on in this coming week. We're just going to get like a black tin roof, which I'm super excited about. So he was just cutting some trees down, or cutting some limbs down that were hanging over a little bit, just to make it, easier. Okay, so this oven stovetop is incredibly gross and nasty. I don't have any excuses other than I didn't clean it up, my husband didn't clean it up, kids didn't clean it up, nobody cleaned it up. So we all used it, and it was just one of those weeks. And if you guys don't have these weeks, then you know what? That is awesome. Good for you. And I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm being serious. But this was a week that got, away with all of us. My husband picked up where I left off with the kids when he got home from work. He works about 50 hours a week. He also has been coaching my son's basketball team. And there's just been a lot going on. And yes, we should clean up as we go. That is very obvious. But we didn't. So here I am cleaning it up now. And it was pretty bad, though. The reason it got so bad is all of us really do this. We get on these food kicks, and this week it's been sausage and bacon. and my husband has made sausage for breakfast in the mornings, so that's why it got greasy. So yeah, it got particularly bad. And the shallow pot that I have, or frying pan that I have, it's super shallow. Like there's not even really any sides. So which wasn't very responsible on our part. But that is what it is. We cleaned it up and we're good to go. I got my pink stuff out of the cabinet, and I guess I hadn't used it in a while because it was all like cracked and almost looked like it was freezer burned. So I had to get it a little bit wet to get the stuff off here, but it got most of that burnt stuff off the top. Where I let my kids cook a lot of their own stuff, like when they go to make their own lunches and stuff where they are homeschooled, I let them get creative and kind of have their way in the kitchen. And I do know that the only way kids are going to learn is if I teach them. But sometimes, and this week in particular, when they were cooking and stuff, they weren't as great to clean up after themselves. And none of us were. I wasn't either. So, the fault starts with me and my husband for not setting better examples. But, there were some extra burn marks and stuff on here. Just stuff got spilled. It's mainly just boiled water, because it's really what they primarily use the stove for. And it is amazing what kind of mess boiled over water can be. I think the biggest problem that it comes to with the stove, with my kids cleaning it up, is when it they got to let it cool down. And y'all know how kids' attention spans are. They walk off to let it cool down, and then they don't come back and they forget about it. And I will be the first to say that I'm like the queen of that. I can usually, I'm not scared to clean the stove when it's hot, but my hands are incredibly calloused, and I'm just more, I know that if I don't clean it right then in the moment, that I'm not going to come back to it. And when you're younger, especially a kid, you think, oh, I won't forget. And of course, you forget. That's the biggest lesson I've learned as an adult, and it's just recently, is that I'm not going to remember. So I just need to do it now. If I tell myself, oh, I'll remember that later. No, I won't. That's the biggest lie I've ever told myself, is that I'll remember. Erica, you are going to forget. Just like when I go and I put something in a special spot and I'm like, I'll remember that this is here. This spot is so weird that I won't forget that it's here. Sure enough, yep. And I'll remember having the conversation with myself. I just won't remember where that specific place was. Okay, so I cleaned up my table with some Pine Sol. My rag was destined to go to the laundry room, so that is why I started cleaning my trash can with it. That's normally what I do with my rags, is if I use it for the countertop, it kind of has like a natural progression. Like, I'm not going to clean my countertops with something I just cleaned the trash can with, but I will do it the other way around because I'm not eating off my trash can. The corner had some bits and pieces of trash, as you could see, so I swept that up. I had to pull that out too because there were some coffee grounds, I guess, that had gotten spilled on the floor, and it needed to be cleaned up by hand with a rag and stuff. So I sprayed some stuff on there to let it soak because it was like kind of stuck on the ground. I am really bad about cleaning the area around my trash can and cleaning my trash can. That is just something that I'm not good about. My kids take the trash out, so it's very easy for me to forget it. Now, if it's overflowing, I'll see it, but most of the time when it comes to like actually cleaning it, I will not lie. I'm bad about that. So the only real reason I'm bad about it though is because I just simply don't want to do it. I don't like fooling with the trash, so I just don't. Now, I am getting ready to mop in here, and I like to sweep and vacuum when I go to mop, and that's what's going on. This is an area, I have to say, I'm really happy with myself. So, about 2 years ago, I've had this channel for about a year and a half. I didn't realize how much of a hoarder I had been and just what state my house truly was in. I was very, very naive to the fact that my house was a wreck. And I'll be first to say that. So this is an area where I really have seen the progress. I was at that point where I was constantly decluttering stuff and just picking up clutter. I was never really getting to the sanitizing part of a house because I think, there's several different levels of cleaning your house. You talk about deep cleaning, you talk about spring cleaning, you talk about tidying, there's just all these different levels. People act like sometimes they talk about cleaning like it's just some simple task. And if you're a minimalist, it's definitely, but most people aren't. And, I just would declutter a room, never really got to the actual cleaning, the sanitizing. Now, since my channel, I said about 1.5 years. I've noticed like I get to the deep cleaning parts more. I do the more sanitizing things. I'm not spending as much time on just picking up crap in a room. Now, granted, I'm still picking up crap in my house. I've got dogs. Sometimes it's literal. But I'm still picking up pillows that my son threw on the floor. I'm picking up a shoe here or a sock here. That stuff's always going to be here. Until I learn to pick up after myself, till my kids are gone, it's just that's how it's going to be. But I'm noticing I'm not spending near as much time on that anymore. I actually have the time to sweep and mop and vacuum and do the cleaning, like the sanitizing and the washing the window. Maybe not washing the windows. I do still avoid that. But stuff is getting done that I was not doing before because I couldn't get to it. I just had so much crap everywhere. And now that I've accepted that I can't have a clean house and have a lot of stuff, I'm good. And I'm happy. I mean, my house is never going to be perfect, but I can actually see all the progress I've made, and I'm really happy about that. So I used pine salt and water. It looks like I've got a ton of water on my floors. I don't. It was just the way the camera and all this, because I have laminate floors and water will ruin that. So I did not soak my floors like it looks like I did. So I love the pine salt. It makes it so shiny and clean. I'm just thrilled with this. And the smell, I didn't mind it this week. It's definitely growing on me. So here is what my kitchen looked like when it was all nice and tidy. So, I was happy with this. I did take my mop and bucket and stuff out and I dumped it on the floor. Not on the floor, on the porch. Yeah, see right there? It looks like there's water everywhere. Okay, so now we are back to my bathroom. The last 2 videos we have been decluttering the other 2 drawers. So I do want to explain something. I know that it is really the thing to have bins and little baskets and stuff to organize your stuff. I appreciate that. I think it is a wonderful, wonderful tool. It doesn't work for me. I tried that in here. I won't take the time to do it. I don't know why I don't do it. It's just something I don't want to do the baskets. I won't put anything back where it belongs. So I got this idea from Erica Lucas. She said that you should just have less stuff then. You don't have that much to organize, so you can just kind of toss it back in there. So that's what I did. I just went through here and got rid of a ton of stuff, and I only put in here back into the top drawer what I use on a regular basis. So, and it may look like a mess, but it works for me because I know myself. I am just going to throw my hairbrush back into the drawer. I am just going to throw my deodorant back in there. I'm not going to take the time to put it back in the bin, which is probably what a responsible adult should do, but I'm just going to be realistic with myself. There are some things I'm just not going to be mature about. Putting something in a bin, neat and tidy, isn't going to be it. And I really do just want to have less stuff because I don't need half the crap that I have. There was so much stuff in here that was expired, that I hadn't used in forever, that I don't even know where it came from. So, I got rid of it. A lot of it was empty packaging too. I did the same thing with these other 2 drawers. So I do apologize if, you all do, this looks like clutter to you. It works for me. This is how I have to do things. So, I think that's great though. It's kind of, we all learn differently. We all do things differently. And it'd be a dull and boring world if we all did things the same way. So what I'm trying to go for in here, my ultimate goal is just less stuff. Because I really don't need as much as I have. Now, in the bottom drawer, I have to say I had some, feminine hygiene things. And then I have a bag of travel things from when we go camping and, little miniature toothpaste for in case my kids go stay the night somewhere, that type of stuff. I do have a little bit of that. And then I keep extra toothpaste. Toothpaste is something I like to have a lot of. I don't know why. There's no backstory with that. I didn't go a month without toothpaste when I was growing up or anything. We've always had toothpaste, but one of those things I like to keep a lot of. I did say in the last one, you'll notice there's a ton of lighters in here because I like candles. Even ironically, I don't have any candles in my house right now. And I got onto an ADHD fixation kick with having to have these particular lighters. So I bought them in bulk off the internet. And yeah, I do have to keep my lighters in here too because I have boys. And if you have boys, boys like to set stuff on fire sometimes. Or at least mine do. Please don't tell me if they don't, and I don't feel like mine are not normal. No, my kids are great. Okay, so here's Joe's room. And yeah, we're back in here. Shoo, so bring on the mommy guilt from myself. This room makes me, I allow it to make me feel like 2 inches small. I cannot get my head around how to keep it clean. And I was watching Mom Likely a couple videos back. She was cleaning up her kids' room, and I feel like her struggle is very similar to mine. Like, your kids just have a lot of little stuff and they won't pick up after themselves. So, if you guys don't watch her, she finally got to the point where she just, she got rid of a ton of stuff, and she's just going to keep it that way. And and that's what I think. I'm like, gosh, why does he have so much stuff? And then I try to make the excuse, well, this room is, it's really small. That doesn't matter. That's not an excuse. There aren't any excuses. And I feel bad that it's so messy and it gets this way. But then, when it comes to getting rid of the toys, I feel bad for getting rid of the toys. And then, I don't know. I feel the mom guilt. My gosh, y'all. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. It's awful. And you don't know what's real and what's not, or at least I don't. Like, I don't know what I feel legitimately guilty about, and what's just, the part of that that's just, a mommy thing. Like, because my husband's like, I don't understand why you feel so bad for all this stuff. And it's like, I don't either. Like, I know the difference between a lot of stuff, things, but knowing something and feeling something are two entirely different things. So I went in here and I had the intention of only doing 20 minutes. And the goal was to just kind of get this dresser cleaned up, because a lot of the stuff on the dresser was stuff that I had messed up in his room. But, I don't know. I said, but I don't know. When I do these voiceovers, they're not scripted at all, if you guys couldn't tell. I like to give you guys what's coming off my mind. So when I went here, like I said, I set the timer. I ended up cleaning for almost an hour, and I was really pleased with what I did. But you'll notice I just kind of stopped the camera, and I needed to, because it was honestly making me really upset. And I don't know, I guess that's one of those first world problem things. I'm upset because my son has so much stuff that his room's a mess. And I'm like, that's a ridiculous thing to be upset about, But then you have that argument in your head, well, am I spoiling my kid? Obviously I'm spoiling him if his room is so messy that he has so many toys that he can't keep his room clean. So then, yeah, in a sense, whether he acts like it or not, I guess that's what it is. Because if you have something, you should learn to take care of it. And I'm not teaching him that. So anyway, those were the things that were going on in my head. So that's why I stopped the video. And, I just needed to focus on what I could do in this room and how to teach him to keep it clean. So that's what we did. But he has a ton of Legos, which is usually all he plays with. He plays with Legos and he plays with Matchbox cars. So I got rid of a lot of books. I took a empty tote from the back room that I decluttered last week and filled it with a lot of larger toys that he doesn't play with. And I took them out. I'm going to try that, method where you take it out, and if they don't play with it for a month, then you donate it. And I may just donate some of it anyway, because he doesn't play with it. I don't know if it's an irrational fear or not, and I know I've talked about it before, I am so afraid that if I throw his stuff away, it's going to traumatize him, and he's going to become a hoarder when he grows up. I think I have watched way too many hoarder shows, because I've seen every episode of everyone. What is it? Hoarders, and then there's another one I always get the two confused. And I can't remember what it's called. There's TLC and then the A&E one. Anyway, I've watched them all. And it seems like that's something I've heard every single hoarder on that show say, well, my mom threw all my stuff away. Or I came home one day and she said, either you clean it up or I'm going to throw it all away. It seemed like there was always some story about how all their stuff was taken away from them. So I guess I have that in my mind. I do have a close family member, as I mentioned before on here, that is a hoarder, and that has been one of their reasoning too for wanting to keep so much stuff. So it is something I keep in my mind quite a bit. So that is red paint on the floor. That is not like anything weird, just paint. He got into some of my stuff and squirted it on the floor. I do need to peel that road up. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I was picking up Legos here. I do normally make Joe come in here and clean with me. I probably should have said that from the beginning. I didn't this day because it just needed, like I said, I hadn't intended to spend a bunch of time in here. So that's why I didn't really get him in there. And he was distracted doing some school stuff. So I just took advantage of it. But I do have him clean up after himself. And he does really well in the rest of the house. But his room, a lot of times, I don't push him as hard as I should in here. So anyway, got all that going. What else did I do in here? There is a box in the corner that he built. It's his little fort. It's not trash or junk or whatnot. And he didn't want to get rid of it. And he does play in it from time to time. So I just left it, and that was an argument for another day. I also turn his bed around that you don't see on camera because it's blocking his closet door, so he can't quite get in there. Well, he can get in there to get some of his toys and stuff out of the boxes, but he can't like open it all the way, so I thought that would help. I do need to go in there and give his closet floor a really, really good cleaning because there's like toys and stuff scattered everywhere in there. He's got one of those like cubby box toy things. That was the little fort box I was talking about in the corner. It was what our hot tub jacuzzi thing came in. So you don't see this on camera, but I do clean all this stuff up right here. I think it's about this point that I started to get a little upset with the way the room was going and just the amount of stuff and how bad, it had gotten. So I wasn't really upset with him because he's 6. So at that age, it's my fault for not telling him, hey, go clean up your room. You need to do this, you need to do that, which we do occasionally, but just not like we should. So I don't know. I'll figure it out maybe when I'm 90 or something. So here is what the room looked like when it was finished. That is my coffee cup, y'all. But yeah, I thought it looked really good considering, and yeah. So here we are into the living room. Now, my shots are going to be out of sequence. So I have to explain. Like with my rag, I will change my water out in my mop. But the last room that I mopped was my bathroom, not the first room. So I think I skipped from this scene and then go straight to my bathroom. I don't do that. Like I said, I changed my water. Well, actually, with this water in that mop, it just runs out. So I have the mop bucket that has the rinsable or the clean water and the dirty water. They're separate from each other. So I wasn't mopping like my kitchen and then go to my bathroom, then go to my living room. I saved my bathroom for last. Just, I don't know. I have it in my mind that that's how you should do things. You shouldn't clean your kitchen with something you just cleaned your bathroom with. So that, for whatever reason in my mind, that just makes sense and that seems right. So just like with smells too, like I don't want something that I would smell in my kitchen in my bathroom, and I don't want to smell something in my bathroom that I would in my kitchen. So anyway, I don't know if I vacuumed in here or not. I got caught away with my chit-chatting. So mopping is one of those things that the last 3 years is new to me. I'm embarrassed to say I have never been much of a mopper. I would have a little Swiffer mop that I would do every now and then, but I'm ashamed to think about how dirty my floors were. But with housekeeping, I was never really taught how to keep a house clean. I just knew it was supposed to be clean. I just didn't know how it got that way, as naive as that sounds. So yeah, this is a shot that is out of sequence. This was actually the very last thing that I did. It was just the way I put the video together, and I'm not sure why it happened that way. But I cleaned my toilet out with some Fabuloso. I have one of those bleach tablets that you put in the back of your toilet. I really like those, so that helps keep it clean on a regular basis. And then I just went over, the toilet with the antibacterial wipes. I do like those for the bathroom. I'm trying to use them all up, and then I'm going to probably go to spray and paper towels because I was told that antibacterial wipes are not actually that great. So we'll see how that goes. Another thing about me, and it may sound weird, I don't like to use the same broom that I use in my kitchen in my bathroom. So I had 2 separate brooms, but my second one that I used for my bathroom got broken. So I just used my vacuum cleaner in here, which I'll use my vacuum cleaner in the rest of the house. So I don't know why I can't use the same broom in here. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Do you have a separate broom for your bathroom, or do you use your vacuum, or what? Because I know some people have carpets in their bathroom. I cannot imagine having carpet in my bathroom though with my boys. I can't imagine it being clean at all. I've been to some houses that have carpet in the bathrooms and they're super clean. I don't know how they do it. There must be some like magical cleaning fairy. She doesn't come to my house, I can tell you that. Anyway, so this is my hallway. It gets really bad really quickly. I did not sweep. I don't know why I didn't sweep. There was a reason for it, but for the life of me, I can't tell you what it is. I have had to, because I had already swept. I have had to clean this hallway I don't know how many times last week. My dog kept going to the bathroom on it, so then I'd have to go back there and clean and mop and everything else. And I don't know what was going on. So I think it may have just had something to do with it being too cold, because I'd take them outside, let them eat and stuff, and then they'd come back in immediately. And even if I left them out there just a little bit longer so they go to the bathroom, they'd still, it's been ridiculous. Okay, so if y'all know anything about my videos, you know that this means that it's probably getting close to the end. This was filmed several days before. I just had a ton of laundry. I have to say, I have folded I'm going to jinx myself, but it'll be all right. I'll go ahead and brag on it anyway. I have folded all my laundry this week, so I actually didn't have any to film, so I'm glad I went ahead and did this. This is like 4 loads of laundry, I think. I'm so bad about it. Obviously not this week, but of course I have learned that when I brag about something, the next week I put my foot in my mouth. So maybe where I'm calling myself out, it might reverse that. I don't know. It's all up to me, really. I act like there's some cosmic reason for why my clothes don't get folded. There is no cosmic reason, because I'm not cosmic. The reason is me. The reason is because I don't fold them. So next week I do start, when I say next, since you guys are watching this Wednesday, I will be starting my new job. I am so excited, y'all. I'm just absolutely tickled. I'll be working 3 days a week, and I have never had a 9-to-5 job. So this is going to be totally new for me. Like, I got to dress professionally and act like I have a little bit of maturity in me, which I can do that. But I'm so excited. If you're new, I have recently got a job as a target case manager for a recovery center. I get to work with my sister. This is something that I have been praying about for a long time, something I've wanted to do for a long time, and didn't think I was going to be able to because of my kids. But God, like I said, had different plans. So on to what I'm doing with my clothes. My husband and I don't fold most of our clothes. We just hang them up because that tends to work better for us. And when we have drawers, we tend to clutter the dresser up and everything else. So we just took them all out. I'm watching TV, as y'all can see, while I fold my clothes. There's a ridiculous amount of clothes. So I hope everyone has had a wonderful week. If you're seeing this when it first comes out, this would be in the middle of your week. So I hope the rest of your week is spectacular, or whatever you have left. I hope you had a wonderful weekend before, and I hope you have a great weekend coming up. We've got basketball. We've got baseballs coming up too. Both 2 of my boys are doing baseball this year, so we'll jump in from basketball straight to baseball. But it's great. They'll have a blast. At least I hope they will. Well, they'll be playing some baseball regardless. But I hope wherever y'all are at, you are having a blessed one. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. It's just a blessing to be able to do this and to be able to share all this with you. You all are you're just wonderful. All the love and support I've gotten, especially with my new job. I'm tickled to share this with you guys. I can't wait to tell you guys, all how it goes. And I'm very, very, very blessed to have y'all. So I hope wherever y'all are at, they're having a blessed one. I know I've already said that, but I've also said before, you can never be blessed too many times. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.